Hey everyone, Jonny Skywatcher here. If you don't know who I am, this this is my YouTube channel where I like to talk about movies, TV, gaming, and sometimes any other sort of thing I can find on the internet. So today is going to be a short video because, well, I figure I really don't need to always find 3 topics because that's what I've kind of been doing the live show, I guess you could say, is I've been finding 3 topics each day, but right now there just isn't really that much to talk about, or really not that much that I find interesting or have some sort of point of view to talk about. So I only have 1 topic today, and that topic is going to be Ms. Marvel. So let's get to it, shall we? So, Disney has cast its Ms. Marvel for the Disney Plus series. And hopefully my mic's working. I'm recording this just beforehand. So, it's going to be, Disney Plus has cast its Ms. Marvel. Marvel Cinematic Universe has its Kamala Khan. Deadline reports the studio has cast actress, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Iman Vellani, in the title role of the upcoming Disney Plus series, Ms. Marvel. The show, which does not yet have a release date, and it has to be like the 4th or 5th one that's being worked on for the future. I've sort of lost track of how many shows Disney Plus is working on, which is kind of crazy that they didn't have anything for the launch, and now they're just, it seems like it's just stacking on to things that have yet to come out. So what they have right now, it seems to be, you have WandaVision, which appears to be is coming out first instead of second. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and then those are like have filmed or have filmed partially. After that, we have, we've already heard about She-Hulk. And then this Ms. Marvel's, I think the second one after that we've heard about casting for. And then up on deck at some point in the future is, I think, Moon Knight, and there's got to be at least a couple others. It's crazy. Anyway, the show doesn't have a release date yet. It's being written by Bishop K. Ali. I don't know any of these writers. We'll center on Pakistani-American Jersey girl who can stretch her body in long, powerful ways. Currently, the character can be seen at the center of the Avengers video game for PlayStation, and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said after the show, Khan will play a part in the movies as well. So that'll be interesting to see. That's one of the things that's still sort of a big question, is how much the Disney Plus stuff will tie into the movies, because they kind of acted like they were going to do that with the TV shows before, and it didn't really end up happening. But I think it has a much better chance of happening now with the Disney Plus shows, because these are being actually made by Marvel Studios instead of sort of Marvel Television, where back in the day, around, the time of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., in its early seasons, there was this separation between Marvel Studios and Marvel Television, and that's a whole different story. But it'll be interesting to see how some of these characters maybe get a chance to leap to the big screen in the way all those characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. don't seem they'll ever get a chance to. This person is relatively, or I should say, completely unknown. I don't think she's had any credits to her name. I did look up. She does now have an IMDb page. When this was written, I guess she didn't even have an IMDb page. She now has an IMDb. I can't speak. She has one, but it only lists Ms. Marvel. And the only thing that seems like most of the sites I've seen have said that she was involved with the Toronto International Film Festival in some capacity on a committee, I guess. You can go to it, the link. I guess she was on this committee for something. I don't really know. I don't know. Does that mean she was in something? It is not even really clear. It doesn't really seem like it. But I could be wrong about that. One of the things I'm interested to see is how do they do Ms. Marvel's origin? Because the Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel, to be clear, because there's been like several different iterations of the Ms. Marvel character in general. The widely known Captain Marvel now, and the Brie Larson in the movie had actually, but for years and years, decades and decades, been the Ms. Marvel. So the Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel is an Inhuman, and that's where her powers come from. And when she was introduced was, I believe, during this event Inhumanity, and that's how she gets her powers, through Terrigenesis. Now, one of the things is that the MCU outside of Marvel Television hasn't really touched upon the Inhumans. And there's sort of this question about how canon is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. And then there was also that Inhumans TV show, which we don't really talk about because it was so bad. But the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did introduce the Inhumans, and they introduced Terrigenesis. So that would be one way you could bring it in. But I highly doubt Disney Plus is going to treat Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like canon. So the question is, what is Kamala Khan's origin going to be in the Disney Plus series? Because I'm assuming that they're going to go with Inhumans, because it's not like a situation with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver back in Age of Ultron where, they couldn't call them mutants because Fox still had the right to mutants, so they ended up calling them, maybe there's something else. And then even in the comics, they were trying to change it to, maybe they're actually Inhumans or something. I don't even know how that whole turned out with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, but here, there's no reason not to make her an Inhuman, other than the fact that if you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or I think most people didn't watch the Inhumans miniseries, you don't know really know about Inhumans. And I mean, I guess they could sort of just gloss over the origin story. Would they? Because it's pretty clear. She gets hit by Terrigenesis, and that's how she gets her powers in the comics. So I have to wonder how will they deal with it. The other thing about Kamala Khan that I do know, and keep in mind, I don't read the comics, so everything I've read about her is on Wikipedia and stuff like that, and just in forums and what other people have said about it. The other thing I know about her is, a big thing is, she's a fan of Captain Marvel, or the original Ms. Marvel, and that's why she calls herself Ms. Marvel, and that's why she does that. I wonder how much of that is going to be in the Disney Plus series, because unless they kind of, not so much retcon, but imply that Captain Marvel has done a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't get to see in between Infinity War and Endgame during that 5-year gap. She doesn't really have much of a reason to admire Captain Marvel. And I kind of think it makes more sense if Captain Marvel wasn't even around most of that time. It kind of seems like she was just off somewhere else. So why does this version of Kamala Khan admire Captain Marvel so much? I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how they deal with that from a screenwriting point of view, because those are two big challenges, I think, for this series. Is they have to work around the fact that she's an Inhuman, but we haven't really introduced Inhumans in the current MCU. Yes, we did. They were introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but is that still canon? Who knows? Is that? I don't think that's going to be addressed anytime soon. I feel like it's kind of in that gray area. And even if, so yes, that was introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you have to imagine that when they're making this show, they're designing it for people who are coming in who haven't seen anything, Yet, they never make these shows for before you watch this show, make sure you watch these shows beforehand, otherwise you won't know what's going on. So just from a screenwriting point of view, you have to imagine that has to be a challenge, because this isn't coming off from a big event like Inhumanity in the comics or something. You know, this isn't coming out from an Avengers movie which had Inhumans and could have led to worldwide Terrigenesis, which is what happened in the comics. So, think about it. Episode 1, you got to introduce Kamala Khan and have her get power somehow. So I imagine it's probably going to be much more limited. You're obviously not going to have some big Terrigenesis event like in the comics, but yeah, I guess you couldn't. The best way I think would be to simplify it is, you know, she just, I don't know, somehow runs into a piece of the rock or whatever you need to and gets exposed to it, and then goes on under Terrigenesis. Maybe I'd probably go for this the simplest route possible. Don't overcomplicate it. And for the second part, when it comes to her admiration of Captain Marvel, I don't know. You know, she must have been in the news somewhat. And yeah, you just go with it. Anyway, those are my kind of thoughts and concerns about it. What do you think about this casting? Are you excited for a Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series, or can you care less? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button. You know, comment, like, I don't know. Do all the things that could, you know, possibly show that you like the channel. If you like it, if you didn't like it, then I don't know why you watched to the end of this video. You know, good for you then, I guess. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for me today. So hope you have the great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.